Pay attention. This is a yellow eel raised in a cage by an old Vietnamese watch. Each one can reach more than 0.5 kilogram. The largest one weighs 3 or 4 caddies. Do you know how they are farmed? Say, it's time for the old Vietnamese watch to open the cage again. Looking at these inconspicuous ones in front of me, a net box enclosed with plastic. Don't say it. Many people think it is an old Vietnamese watch, a vegetable garden used for growing vegetables. In fact, this is the base for breeding yellow eels in Vietnam. Although it looks simple, but in fact, the yellow eel, each head is very full. The eel raised in every net village, all up to hundreds of thousands of caddies. So every time you go to Kai Quang Township, it is the happiest time for the Vietnamese watch. This online village, it's an old Vietnamese watch. It was put a few months ago. Yellow eel fry. There are about 100 caddies of yellow eel fry, raised for half a year. Today is the time to go to the countryside again. The old watches all cracked their mouths one by one. Of course, the most enjoyable thing is to be the head of the eel farm. I saw that the cage was already covered with dead leaves. This proves that the pressure carried by this cage when the old watches peel the leaves off the cage. A layer of branches is exposed below. This is the old Vietnamese watch. The secrets of breeding yellow eels. Using branches instead of mud. Let the eels have a place to live. There are also crevices and drills. When the sun is high during the day, you can also avoid sun exposure. So they've been very successful in breeding these yellow eels. And it's also very big. I heard that we also have breeding yellow eels in our country. But it doesn't look that big. The big one is about half a caddy to a caddy. If there are brothers who breed yellow eels, see this video, you can study it. This breeding method of Vietnamese old watches. When the old watches remove the branches above the cage, the yellow eel below is gradually exposed. Look at this quantity. Each one is golden. The old watches were overjoyed. It's like picking up money. Who would you say is unhappy in such a scene? This year's small goal may be achieved again. Let alone marry a wife. Buy another car. I don't think it should be a problem. As the old watches get happier and happier, just sit inside and grab it. This old watch is not afraid of being drilled by the eel. Should I say, if it were me, I would be a little scared. Look at the one grabbed by the old watch here. The minimum of this one is above 1.5 kilograms, sold for at least millions. The harder it gets, as the space gets smaller and smaller. All the eels have drilled into a corner. The old watches directly started to use the dog planer method. Put the eel in the basket, then a basket. Transfer the basket to another, in a small pool prepared in advance. Look at this little pool full of climbs. Without 1.0 kilograms, there are 400 kilograms. This is just an old watch among so many cages. One of them, think of the dozen or so cages of the old watch. He is simply the local tyrant in the village. The next step is to wait for the acquirer to come and acquire. The rest is time to count the money. What a rewarding day. Finally, I would like to ask the brothers. Raise now. How much are the yellow eels per kilogram?